Willkommen aus München. Heute ist der 23. April. Wir werden heute in einigen Augenblicken den zweiten digitalen Critical Run starten mit Thierry Geoffroy, der sich von Kopenhagen aus zuschaltet, mit zu uns dazu hole. Wir haben vor einigen Tagen bereits den ersten. Hi Thierry.
Hi Michael.
Hi. I was just explaining that some days ago, I think it was about 2 weeks ago, we did the first critical run via Instagram.
Yes.
And it was very spontaneous, but I'm glad that we are meeting today to do the second one.
Yes, we are serious. We keep working to make sure we do it well and we explore the capacity. Because last week we had also some last time we had interesting participation. So we can read the question if people have any questions or comments. So we try to get them in the run as well somehow.
Yes, so this is just to say that we will try to answer all the comments, all the questions that might come up during the run.
Yes.
Step by step, maybe we also take some minutes after the run to just explore the comments that we received during the run.
Yes, or we run when we do that. Let's see how we can do.
Okay. Do you want to start with the question, Thierry?
Yes, the question is, who wants the same world as before? Who wants the same world as before? Should we start, Miguel?
Yes, let's go.
Okay, I'm ready. I just tell you I'm on the Parliament Square here. This is the place where the democracy decides things. So
well,
I just have to do something, a technique. Wait a minute, I have something that might make noise. I just have to kill it. Yeah, I'm ready. This is a place for democracy where we can still decide things, hopefully. So I would ask, what was the world before? And when is before and after?
I think that's the first question to ask. What are we talking about when we talk about before? When I was reading the question, your proposal, I immediately thought, what a romantic idea to think about a world before. It sounds like a concept from the past.
Yes.
Although, for the moment, we are only some weeks actually into this current situation.
Yes.
But the world before seems something like the 19th century or even earlier. Don't you think?
But the idea of before is because now in some countries they are talking about reopening, bringing back this, bringing back that. So it looks like it's a discourse about returning to normal.
Well, we are in the same process. The whole country is discussing about loosening the restrictions, about opening the shops. In our case, the question is if we can and under which circumstances we can open the museum again.
Yes.
Not the least for your exhibition that we were planning for July.
Yes.
And the question is, it's not even a question. I think it's just a fact that it will never be the same to go to a museum.
No.
It will never be the same to go to a supermarket or to a theater as before.
Yes. But
the discussion is how can we reach this situation from before?
Do we want to?
Please go ahead.
Do we want the world from before? Because the world from before is not only our life, it's also maybe, if I remember the world from before was Australia burning, Amazonia burning, refugee running away from the bombs, one child is dying every 5 seconds in the world, things like that. So the world from before, it was left with a lot of things to fix somehow as well. Outside us.
Well, I think the fact is, and the reality is, that if people want the world from before back, they are talking about their personal context more than about a general political situation.
Yes.
Or a situation of minorities,
yes.
Of refugees,
yes.
Of climate change.
Yes.
I don't think that people are considering all those emergencies when they talk about the world before.
The heat. I speak about the heat. Now I'm in Copenhagen in April. It's already hot. Last year, people will start to wonder why is it so hot and why Greenland is melting so fast. So all the people that normally travel a lot, consume a lot, just like me, basically, they start to wonder if the world was into something happening strangely out of control already before pandemic. So, and this has never been fixed, or there is not even a plan to fix it.
Well, I think that if people are posting now images or videos from Venice, where the animals are coming back
yes.
to the Canale,
yes.
Is a very romantic idea, because as soon as people bring back public life
yes.
and the economies, all those animals will be gone again.
Yes.
It's a complete fantasy to think that this would stay whenever we as the human beings restart our life. So in that sense, the world before is just simply a fantasy that never has existed, but that gives some kind of hint, is like a relief for people under the current circumstances to think about this kind of paradise image that we might recreate, although it never existed, in my opinion.
Michael, we don't see your eyes. Yes, better. The world from before, I think, was a nightmare on Earth. We were just witnessing the whole destruction, with us as pilot of the crash. So basically, I'm not nostalgic. I think if I want to debate this, it's because I think if there is a chance to imagine something new for the future, it is the right moment.
Yeah, I kind of agree, although I think that people are much more right now concerned with the past. They are not so much thinking about the future.
Yes.
only to the very point that all those restrictions will be gone.
Yes.
But I don't think that this is a long-term projection that is happening right now.
But it's a bit of a mistake, because the people you are telling about that think shortly, while they think shortly, some other people think in long terms. So if we don't want to get food, if we don't want to end up in a scenario where we are destroying the whole thing, which means politically, ecologically, we need also a scenario as a reboot. We need to create a reboot software, because while we don't, other people do. I mean, we spoke about that last time. Maybe freedom will be under control. Some oil company will get better bailout and more permissions and stuff. So why we don't think other strategies are getting in position?
The question is maybe if society is possible to create this kind of perspective under conditions of a shock, which for many of us, the coronavirus was a shock. Although you would think that health systems, scientists and politicians, governments are prepared for a pandemic like this coming up again. Apparently that was not true. So we are living in circumstances that might not even allow a wider perspective. And that's why people tend, I mean, I'm generalizing, but that's why people tend to think about the next weekend, but not about the situation in 5 years or in 10 years.
But maybe as art people, it's something we should personally have to think about. Because let's say, if I am an avant-garde artist, not only about the form, but also about some provisions, it will be my job to think in advance and basically come with some proposition. And you as a museum, you have also a role to the democracy or to your visitors, to the town, to fulfill a kind of community reflecting. So somehow we have to think about these things, at least start, not to be taken by the speed. This is why we run.
Yes.
Not to get behind. Maybe we have a small break with some question. If there is question,
let's check.
We take some running. Or, I'm not sure I see all the question because I'm not the host. Oh gosh.
I will see. Let's see.
I don't see question.
We have people watching.
People watching, but not so many questions yet.
But not so many questions yet.
Yeah. Last time was more question, but we repeat the question maybe because people they catch up. We have to say that these ones are meeting points. We start and then we go on. Okay, so I just repeat the question we were running about, and then we will run still. We are not finished. Who want the same world as before? But who? Yes. I know the people that want the same world than before. it's the people that basically were profiting from other. They want the same. They want to go back to that even more.
So that would bring us back to capitalism, that maybe has a lot of interest in recreating the world as it was before.
Yeah, I'm not a specialist of what is capitalism or not capitalism, to say the truth. Yeah, capitalism, yes, capitalism we can say, but maybe there is another name for that.
Yes. Well, let me ask you something as an artist that tries to be in front of these kind of developments.
Yes.
Isn't it quite idealistic to think that society can take this moment?
I didn't get it, Michael.
I will repeat. Can you hear me? I was asking you if
Yes.
to think that society might take a different perspective under the current situation is not so much avant-garde, but maybe more idealistic, and maybe in a way that creates too many expectations and a lot of pressure for people that are already under pressure in terms of family situation, economic situation. So to now think, let's find solutions for the climate change problem while we are in a pandemic.
Yes.
Maybe that's a bit ambitious.
No, it's not. It's not. How to say? What do you call it? Idealistic. I will call it strategic. It's a question of strategy, not of ideal. Let's say climate change. Now I have the parliament here. Some polluting company got bailed out from the state to do things without any condition. They will pollute the same than before. The government could have said, instead of so much pollution, we gave you some money to help you, but you be kind not to pollute too much and use some other kind of energy, or, you know? So it was no effort to do. It was just a little deal, you know? So it's not an effort. It's because I think the people that have been lobbying, or the people that have more power and make influence, so there is no change. But there is solution. There is solution about climate change that could be solved in about a month. Or hunger could be solved rather fast without an effort from us and our family. So it's a question of strategy, or designing some methods, some plans, and some politics. So it's not dreaming, because if we don't care about these things, it will be worse. I mean, Denmark has had more and more damaging rain, and then if the whole economy go underwater in a year or two, it's even worse. So it's just to be, it's like your kids, you educate them so they grow healthy. It's the same with the people from the population.
But let me ask you, are there any Fridays for Future demonstrations in Denmark right now?
On the internet, but actually it's a project I'm doing now. Since the climate change conference in Denmark, COP15 in 2011, the movement got depressed. So there is a little, the climate change movement is rather depressed in Denmark. Yeah, it's a long story. It's some methods that have been used against them, but it's not big. Now people forget these things more or less. Only the what would be seen as fanatic remembers these things, but they are not fanatics. They are just wise people taking some precautions. Like we take a mask, then we change the energy.
There are some comments now, Thierry. We must be ambitious and strategic, says a viewer. And another one says, it's the last chance to change something.
Yes. Yes.
How will stop the will of getting back to the normal life?
I mean, I think I would like to take this question closer. It's a question to be immune against propaganda and value of convention, which are unuseful. So we are going to be brainstorm that the normal is good and the normal is cool and the normal is great, but we have to be immune against influence, telling us things that are designed like a product for publicity. So a lot of marketing and spin and influence are going to be on the table.
And what is the vaccine against? How do we get immune against the propaganda?
Yeah, we have to be immune, yes, immune from the influence. So let's say if I'm a company, want to make sure I continue prosperity through making plastic or whatever I'm doing, I will try to buy myself to the brain of the people so they think it's cool to still buy plastic. So this is reclaim or publicity advertisement or spin doctory. All kind of influence will be used, and they're already used. So this is why the project I'm working with you at the Museum Villastuck is about awareness muscle, because if your awareness muscle is strong, you don't get influenced but by people that buy influence on you to make you believe or think, or so you think by yourself. So that's the only way, but without, it's very difficult because the monster that wants to influence people is huge, so it's not a fair fight.
It is. So the main thing is to create an independent strategy from the propaganda. Maybe the next question is, who can you believe under the current situation? Who is a person or entity of trust that you can believe in?
But
and there was just another question
that
is maybe related. How will the life look like after the lockdown? If you try to create this immunity against the propaganda.
I'm not so smart to think several questions at once. What was the first one? I'm sorry.
No, the first thing is just a way of dealing with the situation. How to address the propaganda and how to be independent. How to be able to develop a strategy.
Yeah, remember that. It's a question of work.
It's an effort question.
Yeah, I will take this one first. To be immune or to be aware enough, it's a question of training, like any muscle, or be immune as any vaccine. You have to be trained enough to find out who you can trust. And before to find out who you can trust, you have to work a lot. You have to train a lot. You have to make a lot of debate. You have to read a lot. You have to question a lot, and so on. You have to make a skeptical way of thinking sometimes. So in order to have the capacity of awareness, you just have to train and work. That's the solution. There is no other solution. And then who to trust? It's a question of test, of having enough source or following some source to trust, and so on. So you don't have a problem like that if you have good muscle.
at the moment, what the current situation is like in Germany, the people are spending a lot of effort in trying to give a structure to the different levels of taking down the restrictions, because it's different in various parts of Germany.
Yes.
And what they do is to try to find a common sense. Like, do I have to wear a mask? Can I meet with friends?
Yes.
And if I go to the next village, maybe it's not allowed there.
Yes.
I don't even think that this really is the main question at the moment.
Yes.
I think, and in that sense, I agree with you. Although I thought first I would like to disagree with you once.
So we cannot debate if you agree.
So I will not agree. I am.
But then I want to see your eyes, Michael, because I only see your philosophical part.
I will say that it is too much for society to think about strategy for the next years, and at the same time to answer the question, how do I have to go to the supermarket?
Yes.
I think it's too ambitious for our society to deal with these kind of questions at the same time.
Yes.
And in that sense, maybe the life after the lockdown,
yes,
the question that was actually asked by my son.
Yes, your son.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe life after the lockdown will just look the same as before.
Or worse.
Or worse, because we completely forget about the questions that have already been quite present, like the climate change,
yes,
like the refugee crisis all over the world.
Yes.
And you can see
yes,
how countries and nations are using the current situation
exactly,
to shut the borders, so that all these problems are staying out of their country in order to be able to deal with tests and other questions.
Yes. But it's also because now I forgot about this lockdown, by the way. This is why I got in another track, because in Denmark they open again more or less. So, and again, you know, I have this number like one child dying of hunger every 5 seconds, 600,000 people in Europe dying of pollution every year. It's another proportion. And I don't know the number about animal species disappearing, you know, and ice melting, you know. So the pandemic is a scary monster, but somehow it's not the only monster I see, you know. It's not a small monster, but the monster behind is much bigger. We have had pandemic before, but we have never had a loss of ecology so fast like we do. So this is a unique situation. A pandemic is not unique. There has been many pandemics, but the loss of life on Earth can happen for the first time.
Yeah. There was another comment, Thierry.
Yes.
Maybe the last one that we take for the run.
Yeah.
Which isn't being immune against propaganda a way for the privileged? Maybe the immunity against propaganda is not even something that the whole society can achieve.
That's a very good thought. And somehow, yeah, I quite agree. Because this is what we can call, my grandmother was a bigot. Bigot, it means she was religious. And for her, to believe in a religion was so important. You could not take that away from her. It was like food for her. So important. So it's also true that some people don't have the luxury to train their awareness muscle. That's a very good remark. It's a kind of luxury, yes. But where we are, our team, you, me, and the people on Instagram with an iPhone, we are a minority of privileged people that can also protest or give an opinion to the people leading. So maybe the awareness muscle, it's true, it's for a kind of elite. But if this elite can provoke change in voting or taking decision, then it might be a good. But it's true, it's a privilege to train awareness muscle or make any kind of. But I guess somehow I will still think that anyone can train awareness muscle. It's like free arbitro. Yes, I'm getting a bit slow now.
Yes.
In my head and in my shirt. I fear that the machine of the world will work. I read something there. Marine Faux. I fear that the machine of the world will work even harder than before. Me too, yeah. And that this will generate even more equality. Yes, it's going to be a cleaning of people that cannot do it. It seems to me that a drastic change will not protect the less fortunate. This hopefully, yeah. I mean, things have changed after some big crisis for the better. So,
well, I mean, this is a question of responsibility, and who is taking the effort to take on the responsibility so that this is not just a development within a small privileged circle, but that this goes out to a broader society, which is a huge effort. Maybe this could be something that we discuss in the next run, Thierry.
Yeah, every run we plan 3 more runs, so always to run every day, Michael, or what do we do?
Well, first of all, I have to admit that I hope I will be more fit in the next run. Today I was a bit exhausted.
Yeah, me too. I slept bad. I slept little. But what question you want to ask for the next run, Miguel?
I think the question of the privileged is something very interesting.
Yeah.
It might also touch the museums world, the art world.
Yes.
And the question of relevance.
Yes.
It's kind of seen as for society.
Yes.
Because it was very interesting to follow the discussions over the last days in Germany again.
Yes.
Everyone was talking about supermarkets.
Yes.
And gas stations.
Yes.
And bookshops, which is very important. But no one really mentioned museums and theaters.
Yes.
And I heard many voices from the art scene complaining and maybe just realizing that there is a problem of importance.
Yes.
And that might be something to touch whenever we might have the chance to discuss about privilege.
Yes. Yes.
Also, I think in terms of the question that you are raising often in your formats, what is the role of the artist?
Yes. Yes.
And to connect it to this question.
Yes. It's true. No, I'm not going to. I was going to make a bad joke, but I'm not going to do it. I will stop myself. I have to learn to do things like that. Yes. No, okay, I say it now. I'm a bit exhausted, and people. Sometimes I compare. You know the museum called Louisiana in Denmark. It's a museum called Louisiana. Louisiana is very nice by the water. For me, I compare Louisiana and IKEA. The same cafeteria, the same big disposition, the same atmosphere and stuff. So it's very interesting. This
but the objects,
museum and supermarket.
The objects have different titles, I guess.
But downstairs you can buy a bicycle, you can buy cooking stuff, you can buy a coat, a rain umbrella, and you can buy books. And now you know in the fashion store you buy books as well. You know, this thing kind of melt in a kind of sushi smoothie atmosphere.
Yeah.
From the museum and So this is interesting. Maybe yes, it's a discussion. It's interesting, but the problem, if we discuss about that, I become a bit. I make bad jokes. It's not good.
Well, we will try next time to maybe also include more people. We are still trying to find a platform that might help us to run not only the two of us, but also other people. And maybe we can ask if anyone has a tip for us, a recommendation,
Yes.
if there is a platform, so we can do the run with 5 or 6 people instead of the 2 of us.
Yes, I tried with my son with Zoom. I did a test, and we had sound problem and stuff. No, we had problem to record. So I make test. Yeah, so it's not so easy. But I want to say that I don't know if you noticed, I made a newsletter this morning, and then what I can see is that people write comment, and then after I take stills photo, and some of these comments they become like they are a sentence. Then I can include them in the. You know, we see us running, but I can also take the detail of one question. So then if we start to blow up one of these questions, the question become more important than the run.
Yeah.
So people should not underestimate the value of the question and how they circulate.
Yeah. No, let's say thank you to everyone watching.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thierry. Have a good afternoon.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Ciao. Thanks.
Ciao.